Okay, so this is for your first project for the audio exercise. First things first, as always, we want to create a folder on the desktop or on your hard drive if you're using a hard drive. I'm going to call it last name audio project. Once you import or once you get your files off of your phone, whether it be by email or however you want to do it, you want to make sure that you open this folder and go ahead and drag those into the folder. This is a short voiceover reporter track that I recorded, and I'm going to use some actual video interviews, which you're not going to have to worry about at this point because you're only worried about the audio. So I'm also going to put those in there. Okay, so I should be good to go. You want to come and open Premiere, and then you want to create a new project like you've done before. Alright, I'm going to label my project last name audio package, or however you want to call it. Make sure you come to Browse, and you want to find that folder you created. Select it and choose. That tells it to put everything in there so your files don't get lost. Just come over to Scratch Disks and make sure it says same as project. Now if you're using a hard drive, you're going to browse and make sure your folder lives in your hard drive instead of the desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. At this point I'm going to have my Premiere interface up, and I'm going to go to File, Import, and I'm going to go within my project and I'm going to grab my reporter track and some interviews. Alright, those are good to go. Real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and set my in and out points, so you can either do that here, or I like to use the I and the O command. This is just test reporter track, how you would lay it down in your timeline on Premiere Pro. Find your out point. Go ahead and drag that down to the timeline. It's a little different than video, so just be aware of that if you're confused. You always kind of have to manually drag down to your timeline at first. So I want to see this a little bit bigger, so I'm going to hit the plus sign on the keyboard, and now I'm going to open this. Now remember, you're not going to have video, but I'm just doing this for the lesson here. Because you get to see these guys come in. Find my in and out points, and I'm going to go ahead and put that where I want to put it. Overwrite it. And you'll notice this red bar here, and that's because this is different file format. So in the event that this ever happens, you can just go ahead and select everything and hit enter, and that will render this is just for you. So you'll notice we're only dealing with audio here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the linked selection, which will unlink it and allow me to delete the video track. You also remember that we have 2 tracks of audio. Just go ahead and erase the second track of audio for all of your reporter tracks and your interviews. This is just test reporter track. I'm going to go ahead and double click on that, come back up to audio clip mixer, make sure I see everything, and click on the left button to pan it left. This is and just test reporter track, how you would lay it down in your one channel of audio, and it's hitting between the -12 and -6, which is right where you want it. And you're just going to continue to do this all the way through. Now let's say you wanted to smooth some of the audio or fade in and fade out. I'm going to zoom in, and I want to start this interview I want to fade it up. So I'm going to hit the pen tool, P. You could come over here and do it, or you just simply hit P and you'll get this little pen. And remember how to bend the audio. You want to make a couple points, endpoints, keyframes rather, and move that down, and that will give you a nice smooth transition. So if you're using music, natural sound, or anything like that, that's where you want it. So just for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and pretend that we have some natural sound here. So whatever you recorded in the field is natural sound. And again, this is video, we don't want it. All your natural sound is going to be on channel 2, so if I wanted to get some natural sound under that, I could simply lay it underneath. And again, you can come and hit the pen tool and fade in and out. So if you want to bring your natural sound up at another point during the interview or wherever you want to sneak in some natural sound, you can just go ahead and do it with the pen tool. I'm just going to quickly do it just to demonstrate. Say I wanted it to come in there, and then I wanted it to fade out at the end of the clip. So I would do it on both sides. And then once you have everything how you want it, you're just going to keep repeating this process all the way through, and when you're happy with the results, you want to make sure that all your clips are selected, so you could hit Command A and you'll see them highlighted. And we want to export for this, so there are two ways you can export. You can come up and go to File, Export, Media, or you can hit Command M on your keyboard and you'll get this. You want to make sure your format is on QuickTime. It should be by default, but the preset should be set on HD 720/24. That's all good. The output name, I want to change this name to audio last name audio final. Now you can see mine by default is on the desktop. I do not want that. I want it to live in my project folder. So I'm going to go ahead and select my project folder, hit save. You'll notice it'll come up here. Just go ahead and hit save again, and you'll notice the output name is now where I want it to be. Everything else should be good to go, so go ahead and hit export. And for audio it's pretty quick, so you'll notice it's taking barely any time at all. So there we go, I'm all done, and I just want to make sure that that came out properly, so I'm going to head and I'm going to go back to my audio practice, and you'll see last name audio final.mov, which means that it's a QuickTime file, which is what you want for the server. Just go ahead and make sure that's good to go. This is just test reported track, how you would lay it down in your timeline. Watch it all the way back to make sure that all the clips were exported properly, and that's how you walk through every piece for the semester. Now I know there were some differences because I had some video, but just disregard that and follow those steps and you will be good for your first assignment.